Okay. Hi, Emma and Karah.
Hi, how are
Thanks
Hi,
you?
Stephanie.
for giving us some of your time today. My first question is, well, for either one of you, Emma, how did you discover and select this novel by Carola Lovingly as a favorite for your Bellatrix, sorry, book club? How exciting.
Um, this book was actually sent to us by a producer named Laura Lewis, and it was sent to Kara, just seeing if it was something we liked. Is it something we wanted to do? And Kara read it and couldn't stop thinking about it. So she sent it to me, and I, could not put it down. I also recommended it to like a bunch of friends of mine, all different in their ways, and they all were like, we're obsessed with this book. And so we were like, let's try to make this. It feels like a very just interesting, real, but also watchable story that could be turned into a show. So we brought it to Hulu, and they were on board, and now you see the show as it is. Obviously it made it sound more simple. The process was much longer, but it was it was just something we were all really passionate about, and I think we all really creatively aligned, and made something that we're all really proud of.
So what was it specifically? I will tell you, I've watched some of the episodes, and I dare I say I've been in a relationship or two that left a scar or six. So what did you see this book as, telling the story but on the screen, and what really do you want to have people to walk away with after seeing it? Because it is a powerful story, and it is something that, we haven't learned from our mistakes, I guess, with relationships.
Well, I think just the fact that, you who have never talked to us before and are willing to say, on a Zoom call that you've had a relationship or a few relationships like this, I think is kind of the point of the show in terms of like a larger, social imperative. And I think that I would guess that most people who watch this show have been on one side of or maybe both sides of the Lucy Stephen dynamic. And so, I mean, I hope that it kind of elicits a conversation about those kind of relationships, which I think it will, and is also entertaining. I mean, I don't think the show condones, some of Stephen's behavior, but I do think it provides a very kind of realistic lens into the way in which we kind of forget ourselves for people who are not good for us.
Right. It doesn't seem one-sided. I mean, you're seeing him, so you don't really hate him as much as you hate what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you also are thinking, wow, when is she going to wake up?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So not to ask you the personal question, but have you had those relationships or experienced a relationship like that you can't believe you survived it, and now you're looking back saying, wow, how did I ever let that happen? You don't have to say what kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic.
I mean, Kara and I have talked about this. I think we've both been in relationships where it's like, oh, did I overstay there? Could I have done something more productive for myself with my time? Like, for sure, especially when you're young,
Right.
there are times where I'm like, why didn't I just kind of like go explore the world on my own? Like, why did I stay in a relationship? And I think that that's something that I know a lot of my friends feel, especially now that we're entering our 30s. But it's of course easier said than done. It's easier to be like, oh, why didn't you just get rid of that friend or get rid of that boyfriend? It's always easier to say in retrospect than it is in that moment. And I think that's what
Right.
Tell Me Lies like does so well on the show, is like you feel like you're in it with them, and you feel like, as much as you're like, oh, just leave him, you're also like, but you understand like the pull and the push. And so that's what I think was really achieved by the show is, you're not watching it thinking anyone's dumb. You're watching it being
Right.
like, oh, I just wish that, they could see things more clearly.
Right. Wonderful. Well, wonderful job. I'm really enjoying it, and can't wait to share it with our audience.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thank you, Stephanie.